So,
Okay.
we were talking about the difference between a launch and kind of the standard logarithm as far as keyword ranking.
Yep.
I think we're all kind of familiar with the honeymoon period, where that 10 to 14 days, where, you want to try to meet that sales velocity. So of course, let's say that you need 10 units a day for those 14 days in order to rank for a keyword. If you have 100 sales.
I hate to interrupt, but
Yeah.
let's take just a step back, because even
Yep.
somebody who's a relatively high level seller still might not understand exactly what that is in terms of the honeymoon period. So the whole idea there is, and you guys can chime in and add to this if you want, but the perspective there is when you first launch, when you first create a listing on Amazon, they don't really know what your product is about. And so they give you this honeymoon period, basically like a couple of weeks or so, where they let you basically tell them what the product is. And so in other words, the way you create your listing and the ways in which people find your product and with what frequency they purchase your product when they found your product for whatever keywords is what Amazon then uses going forward to determine what your product really is about. Like what should they rank you highly for or not, right? And so during that honeymoon period is that opportunity for you to tell Amazon, what are you all about? So if there's certain keywords that are important to your brand and to this product that you want to make sure you're ranking well for, then you need to send Amazon during this honeymoon period the signals that are necessary to prove to them that you are actually relevant for those terms. Is that?
Yeah. I think that's a great description of it. And there's different ways that you can send those signals. Sometimes
Right.
It's just having those keywords in your, in your title and in your bullets and in your description and back end.
Well, and then based on those keywords that you've told Amazon are important to you, they inflate your organic rank during those periods too, and show your ads a little bit higher to see, okay, are they going to convert? And if they are, then they've earned the right to be at the top of this page, which then helps later on. So like that's the second part of that, I think, is they're giving you position that you probably haven't earned yet to see if you're going to convert. And if you are, then that's going to help your organic rank and help your ads do better too.
Right. It's much easier to get Amazon to give you that organic positioning during that honeymoon period, because they want to give you an opportunity to tell them, is this really relevant?
I would add to that Amazon always wants to make more money. And so if they think that your product is going to outperform what's already on page one, they're, they want to test that out in order to make more money.
Absolutely. So it's just split testing for them, right?
Yep.
Like
exactly.
We have a new variation for the keyword, whatever. We now have a new variation that we can test against everything else that we've already got on that front page. Let's see how it performs. Either it performs better or it performs worse, but we got to know.
Yep, exactly. Well, and what I would add to that too, that I think trips up a lot of people in that launch process, is understanding that what the logarithm wants is consistent sales velocity. And so that's what I was talking about before, where, let's say that you need 10 sales a day in order to rank for that keyword. Well, if you have 100 sales on day one and then no sales for the next 13 days of that honeymoon period, Amazon, the logarithm is smart enough to know, hey, somehow via external traffic, they probably drove those sales to that product in order to spike their sales, but then there's no consistency in it. So it becomes basically a noise in the filter, where Amazon then just drops out those keywords off for your product. So you have to be consistent in those sales as well. So just, blasting a bunch of, ads or something else the first day is not going to get you there.
Yeah. Which is actually one really good reason that it's very useful to walk into a product launch with a list of subscribers, like that you can promote it to, because like we've got, and I've mentioned this before, so there's 25,000 people on our list. We probably got about 30,000 if we combine ManyChat with what we've got on MailChimp. And so we can take any portion of that list and just dole it out one day at a time, okay, let's send to 1,000 people today, and let's send to another 1,000 people tomorrow, or 2,000, or whatever, since Helium 10 basically gives you an idea of how many sales you need for any given keyword to get yourself ranking, you know, like I can dole out exactly the number of, you know, emails that I need in a day to get those sales. And because those are individuals who kind of already trust you and aren't necessarily expecting like a 90% off discount in order to get a sale. Like, I mean, I can send them a, you know, 10 or 15% off discount. And they're still happy with that. You know, like, I mean, it's still better than they're going to get if they wait a week and a half when then I'm no longer discounting the product. So I'm still going to get a little bit better conversion rate out of that. And it works really well.